Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be starting off my first ever project pan. I'm going to be showing you some products that this year I'm going to pan or fully use up, because this is the year of using and making the most for the makeup that we have. It doesn't mean we can't buy new makeup, but you get the idea. So first up, this is the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow, and this is the lighter palette. I prefer the bronzer in the darker palette, so I've hardly used this since I picked that one up, but I used it the other day. I still enjoy it. You can see it's a really, maybe you can't see, but there's a really big dent certainly in the bronzer, and I love the highlighter too. This whole palette is very beaten up. In fact, the clasp doesn't even really work on it anymore. But yeah, I think I've sort of tossed this to one side since I preferred the deeper shade, but this is still good, and I want to hit pan on the bronzer in this at least this year. Next up, I have two Anastasia eyeshadow palettes. The first is the Modern Renaissance, of which you can already see I've hit pan on one shade, but I would like to also hit pan this year on at least the shimmers, probably Buon Fresco, possibly Antique Bronze, and certainly make some more dents in these shades up here. I think these ready, the more purples, are going to be hard for me because they're the shades that I use the least, but I would like to be hitting pan on at least 4 shades in here by the end of the year, 100%. Now, this is a very new palette for me, Norvina. I've only had it a couple of months, but I do love using it, and I don't want to stop using it because I do have a good collection of eyeshadow palettes now. So I want to have hit pan on at least a couple of shades in here. I think I can reasonably hit pan on these two, maybe Love, although I try not to use it because I love it so much and I don't want to use it all up, but makeup's here to be used, you know. I feel like, again, the most used shimmers in here are Rose Gold Dazzling. I can probably hit pan on those, certainly on the base shade. I feel like maybe 2 or 3 shades in here throughout the year I could hit pan on. Now, next up, I have a few foundations that I either want to be gone from my collection or certainly a lot more used by the end of the year. My Luminous Silk from Armani, it's going to be hard to show you, but it's up to about here left, a very small amount left. It's got to be like over a year old now, maybe 18 months old, this foundation, so I either need to use it up or bin it. So yeah, I'm going to start using this more. I do love this foundation. It's kind of my go-to on a night out, but there's others I like more now. So it kind of gets forgotten unless it's a night out, and I really think it's time we use this bad boy up. So I want this gone, used up, probably by halfway through the year. Next up, this is my Nars Natural Radiant Longwear. I can't do it, it's too long. My Nars Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. Yes! So this is my winter shade, and as you can see, I've used a decent amount of it, but I want it at least halfway, if not 2/3 gone, because come May, this will be much too light for me. I won't be able to use it. So I want to really work my way through this one, because it does tend to get neglected, because although I really love it, it's not my all-time favourite, so I tend to reach for a couple of others before this one, but because the shade is so light, it needs to be gone, mostly by summer. Now an oldie, but a real goodie, and this is the Dior Star Foundation. You can see it's up to about here. So probably a quarter left. I hardly use this anymore. It used to be a real favourite for me, but again, it falls into that category where I have similar foundations to it. It's not as long wearing as like my Teint Idole. It's not as luminous as the Natural Radiant, and it doesn't have as much coverage as some of my others. Like, I can't build it like the Dior one, so the Backstage one, so it kind of gets forgotten, but it's a nice foundation. It deserves using up. I want to finish this bottle this year. And again, like the other one, it's in my summer shade, my winter shade, so I need this to be gone by summer or it's never going to get used. Last but not least in the foundations category, one of my all-time favourite foundations, and this is the Teint Idole, and again, winter shade. If this is not used by summer, it's going to be probably way past its use by date, and I don't really pay attention to those dates at all, but there is a limit. Like, it will be 2 years old if it, you know, makes it to winter next year, so that's probably getting there. It's very hard to see where this is up to, but I think it's really low, like down here, so I would like to finish this by summer. I have a few concealers, and again, these all concealers all fit into that box of being really good, definitely usable, but I've now got one that I like better, so I've stopped using them. So you guys know that I love my Huda concealer, and that's all I've been using. So these three are all just sitting, going to waste, but they are all good. Tarte Shape tape, it's still really good. Born This Way, very good. I've actually got this on today because I've already started. I'd like both of these to get used up this year, although this one will be tough. I think it's about halfway through, about up to here. Just because it is so big, 15 mils, but yeah, I want these gone this year. The Shape tape is up to about here from the looks of it. And then the MAC one, again, I really like this, but it's not as full coverage as the Born This Way, and it's not as full coverage as the Huda, but it is very usable, very wearable. It's down to about a third, I say, I've used. So I'd like all these concealers to be fully used up this year. And my Guerlain L'or, you can see it's only about a third left. I want this to be fully gone. I'm actually gonna not use any other primer until this one is gone. I've been obsessed with my Natasha Silk Canvas primer, and I've been really liking my Charlotte Tilbury primer, my Estee Lauder primer. This one's just kind of okay for me, but I've decided I'm committing to using it up before I touch any other primers, so soon, I hope. Now I've got one weird product, which is my MAC Mineralize powder in the shade Light. Now this I bought misguidedly thinking I was going to use it to set my under eye, and it's not a good situation. It's too heavy, too cakey, much too light for me to use anywhere on my face. But I do use it to set my eyeshadow base, and it has got a really big dent in it now, and I really want to start seeing some pan on this bad boy. And now I've got a few real challenges because they are powders and face product powders, which I have a lot of, and it's very hard to hit pan on, but I'm committed to getting there. First up, the Too Faced Chocolate Gold Soleil bronzer, my favorite bronzer of all time. Oh my god, so nice. So yeah, it's just the ultimate bronzer for what I look for. You know, it's kind of neutral, not too warm. It's a very luminous but not glittery, shimmery. It smells like chocolate. I have beaten it up a lot since I had it. I totally think it's possible for me to hit pan on this year because, you know, I whack bronzer on. I really go in with bronzer, so I feel like I'd like to see me hitting pan on this year. Similarly, with the Natasha Denona Superglow, this I think is going to be the biggest challenge because this is my all-time favorite highlight. I'm obsessed with it. I love this highlighter, but since I got my Charlotte Tilbury Bar of Gold palette, this one has taken a slight back seat because it's just, you know when something new comes and you get all excited. But yeah, this is my favorite one. It's a huge big pan. I have used quite a lot of it this year since I've only had it a few months, but I do use it like daily. So I'd like to potentially see some pan showing by the end of the year on this one. And last but not least, my Laura Mercier blush, one of my ultimate favorite blushes. It was my favorite blush until I recently picked up, what did I pick up? The Charlotte Tilbury Climax blush, which just leapfrogs straight over this one, but I still love it. I think this will really come into its own in the spring and summer. I'll be using this every day, and I really want to see if I can actually hit pan on a blush because I have so many of them. I want to actually see, can I do it? Can I hit pan on a blush? And last but not least, I've got one lip product that I want to see gone by the end of the year, and this is MAC's Dough. You can see I've done pretty well. Again, I have so many lip products, it's hard to use them up. But this is like a real staple every day for me. It's a really comfortable, gorgeous formula. So again, I would like to see this gone by the end of this year. So there you have it. That is what my project pan is going to consist of. I will do a couple of check-ins, maybe just one halfway through the year to see how we're getting on, and then one towards the end of the year to see how I've managed to use my makeup and whether I've finished something, whether a pan is showing that was not showing before. Yeah. It's going to be a journey. I'd love to know what you guys are really trying to hit pan on, or whether you've hit pan on something lately, what you're trying to use up and why. For me, it's really about using stuff that is really good, but it's no longer my favorite, and still using it, you know, just because something's come and trumped it doesn't mean that that thing is no good anymore. So that's kind of why I'm trying to encourage myself this year to keep reaching for stuff that I love and I know is good, but it's, you know, maybe not the most exciting, newest thing in my collection, if that makes sense. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'd love you to join in on Project Pan with me and keep each other going using our stuff. If you did enjoy, please consider subscribing. I would love to see you in a future video. Otherwise, take care for now. Bye 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 bye.